Hey there everybody, Professor Cloud here with our next episode of Professor Builds a Satisfactory. We're going to be trying to do a couple of different things in this episode, or at least starting a couple of different things, because as you've noticed in the last few episodes, well, last 10 or so, we've been having to do these multi-part episodes that are focused on efficiency, rebuilding in order to make our systems look a little nicer and cleaner, while also trying to move forward in the milestones and phases and so on. But we're at the last phase, and there's a lot that has to be produced. And I'm running up on a wall, which is aluminum, and specifically aluminum casing. So that's going to be something that we're going to continue to think about. But we also need to start looking at making the computer facility efficient. We kind of laid it out in our head at a high level in the last episode, so we'll probably start taking a look at that. But we also do need to start working towards Phase 5 materials and figuring out the best way to deal with aluminum. And right now, I don't quite know what that is, especially for aluminum casings. It looks like we might be in a better shape for aluminum sheeting, but not necessarily. So I don't know. We'll have to see. In any case, that's going to be one thing that we're going to take a look at, and then the other thing is, again, starting to take a look at just the rest of the area. I do want to try and find those new oil fields that we found out near the crystal oscillator production, and see if we can add some more power. But yeah, well, that's what we're going to take a look at in this episode. Quite a few things I know I just covered, and I don't exactly have a plan in mind, so I apologize if this feels a little disjointed. Let's go ahead and jump back in. All right, here we are, and this is supercomputers right here in front of me. That didn't sound good. Just the sound of that particular manufacturer. Okay. What I want to do first is take a look at this particular set of production. So we've got 4 foundries, sorry, 4 smelters, I get these wrong all the time, all bringing in copper. So the copper mine is currently producing 120 per minute. This is a Mark II, which means that it's a normal vein. We would need to get a Mark III to get it to 240. And we could. Don't get me wrong, we could. The whole reason I don't do a lot of Mark IIIs is mostly because of the requirement of both supercomputers and turbo motors to produce a single Mark III miner. So I'm trying to keep it limited to a smaller number where I think we can, really fully take advantage or need to take advantage. But I don't think we need to take advantage of it right here. Mostly because we have 2 full veins. So both of them with Mark IIs are allowing us to produce 240. We've got each smelter taking in 30, producing 30 of ingots. So this is already efficient right now. No, it's not. Hold on. That is a Mark II. That's a Mark II. No, okay, yeah, it's being efficient. Then we're producing copper sheeting here at a 30 to 15, which is correct. And then we're producing 2 sets of cable and 1 set of copper wire. Now, this all looks like crap. So we need to clean this up. For example, this assembler does not need to be on the first floor. It can absolutely be up on the second floor. And therefore, the copper wire and cable that are currently running up to the third floor over there for high-speed connectors and supercomputers, actually I don't even think they're being run into the supercomputers. I think they're only being run in for the high-speed connectors. Don't need to, one, go up quite as high, and two, they could all be internal. So what I want to do is scrap all of this. I want to create one facility right here for copper. And this particular facility will only be focusing on the needs of this facility. We will be collecting copper wire because we have to collect copper wire from someplace. And as you can see, this one is full for the most part. And then we're also producing cables here, but we're not producing any cable storage. So that's something else that we need to do, is produce cable storage. So we're going to tear all this down, and we're going to make this look a lot nicer. We're also going to make it so that all of this can very easily flow in to these two particular, into this facility here. This facility here for computers, supercomputers, I think works very well for the most part, but I think it could be done more efficiently. So unfortunately, the only way to start doing this is to tear it down and start building. The good thing is, I think I only need to really tear down this side to move this assembler up a level. It does mean that we're going to have to run plastic up into the facility, which I think is okay. We can do that with a belt and then run a wall port for that. But I don't think the facility needs to be extended out this far. Yeah, and here's the other thing. I've got two sets of cable in the middle, and then copper sheeting on the outside, or copper wire and copper sheeting on the outsides. Does that make sense? Maybe. I don't know. So let's go ahead and start tearing down. I'm going to start with this. Alright, so some of this stuff is going to end up coming to a halt. And I think that's fine. Okay. Now the question is, do I want to leave copper wire running the way that it is? I'm going to leave that... Actually, let me see if I can go drop plastic off into here. No, see, this is already full. Okay, guys, I'm going to make a quick trip to do something with this. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. What? Why do I have so many circuit boards? There's what I wanted. Okay, give me... Alright, I want to clean up... Oh, this is full already. Well, I'll be damned. Huh. Yeah, I've got a crap ton of circuit boards. Okay. All right, I'm going to make a quick trip to get rid of this plastic. I'll see you on the other side. Okay. So you will notice that I am currently at the aluminum casing production facility. What I did was I grabbed a crap ton of plastic from over at the copper facility, which right now seems to be the one guaranteed place that plastic is collecting. So I took probably 3,200 or so of plastic over to the facility that's producing aluminum sheeting and then being turned into heat sinks to then be used for cooling systems. I've then done the same thing over here and have now set up production from this storage, which will store plastic, into here, which will create empty canisters, into this packager that will then produce packaged alumina, and that will go directly into the awesome sink. So we're going to be back to producing tickets again for the excess alumina. It's the only way right now that I can determine to continuously produce aluminum without flushing pipes or flushing buffers on a regular basis. This will keep things moving. I'm still going to, I still have to come back and forth to bring plastic. Absolutely. But I am producing plastic in abundance. I can probably produce more if I need to. Because I guarantee you my oil fields are not set up in the most efficient manner. They're more efficient than they used to be, but I think that I could probably still be doing better. In either case, this is the best way right now. I did do some research before this episode, and every single person assumed for their aluminum production facilities that you would have every single alternative recipe unlocked. And that's the big problem right now, is there are no efficient recipes out there, with the assumption being that, oh, I did forget to do one thing. Okay, I am not producing scrap out of here. I got to move my scrap from here. Okay, give me 1 second. And this needs to be marked 3. There we go. Now, this looks a little bit like spaghetti. There's no doubts about that. But at the same time, it is going to work. It is going to work. A couple of other things I did do is I upgraded some of the pipes to Mark II piping. I don't know if it makes any difference. They are supposed to handle more capacity, so hopefully that'll help. But in either case, it's still a temporary solution, but at least it's a solution for now. Okay, let's go ahead and head back. I am going to head all the way back so that we can take a look, and hopefully our turbo motors will be complete, and we can turn in this milestone for quantum encoding that we've been trying to get to for quite some time. Then we'll come back to the computer facility and get back to cleaning it up and making it look more efficient. Or not more efficient, but making it just look cleaner. And then at some point, I do want to come in and put in some roofs in these two facilities here now that we're pretty well finished with them. Alright, where are we at with turbo motors? We got 150, so almost ready. I'm going to go ahead and grab these and put them in. Actually, I have 2 in my inventory for some particular reason, and I don't know why. We'll put those in there too. Okay, let's see if we have any tickets to grab. Nope, no tickets to grab. I have some cement in here somewhere, at least I thought I did. Maybe not. I do have excess circuit boards, so I'll put them in here too. Okay, that's good enough. All right. So we still have some more work to do on turbo motors. Maybe by the end of the episode, the turbo motors will be complete. And we can move on with quantum encoding, or completing quantum encoding. In the meantime, let's go ahead back. And get to work on an updated and upgraded copper facility. Actually, I am going to make a quick detour. I am noticing a lot of yellow over at this copper facility, which is being used for nothing but copper powder. And I am wondering, this is full. Okay, so this has got 4,000, 1, 2, 3, times 6. This has got 24,000. All right, we need 200,000 to produce the amount of nuclear pasta. So, I need to... We don't have any larger storage facilities. All right, here's what we're going to do. For now, I'm going to have to do this in between episodes. I am going to scrap this. I'm going to put it over here. Oh, I'm such an idiot. There. And then we're going to build a new one. This is producing 300 per minute. Okay, there we go. So this only has 24,000. We're going to need 10 of these. Okay, maybe not 10. We're going to need 9. Yeah, 9 would get us there. Actually, that would end up being 216, but 8's not going to get us there. 8's only going to get us to 192. So yeah, we're going to need 8.5. 8.5 of these storage facilities. I would bet that the one that's over at the other copper facility is probably also full. What I'm going to need to do in between episodes is transport all of this back and forth to the hub so that we can easily set up nuclear pasta production once we've got enough copper powder and we've got the pressure conversion cubes, which we haven't even started producing those yet, and that's because I needed to have regular aluminum casing production. I need to have enough aluminum casing to go back to crafting fused modular frames on the regular, and they're needed for radio control units also. And that's where we start really running into issues, is in order to do what I just described, we need the heavy modular frames from the steel production facility to go over to the nitrogen packager, or the nitrogen production. That'll create the fused modular frames. But we also need aluminum casings along with that, 50 per as a matter of fact. We need radio control units to be able to create the pressure conversion cubes. It's a 1-to-1 for fused modular frames, but it's a 2-to-1 for radio control units, and those require 32 each of aluminum casings, plus the crystal oscillators, plus something else. I forget what the third thing is. Oh, computers. So you're getting computers from here, aluminum casings from over there, heavy modular frames from the steel production facility, plus the crystal oscillators from the crystal production facility, all to come together for radio control units, fused modular frames, and pressure conversion cubes. Into pressure conversion cubes. So it's like, okay, I can set up transport to automate all of this, but what's the best way to do that? Well, the best way would be to do drones. The problem is, well, okay, now all of a sudden you need fuel. Where's the fuel going to come from? Well, the fuel's way over there. So it really becomes a mess very, very quickly, which is why right now, for the sake of this series, I'm doing a lot of manual transport in between episodes. Okay. So, do we want to leave all of this as is? And therefore, the problem is we leave all of this as is. We're going to have to go up one level. When I say one level, one wall level higher than where this floor currently is sitting. Because otherwise, it's going to break in with that particular storage unit. To be completely honest, I don't like this anyway. So what I'm going to do, this one I think is fine for the copper wire. But to my point earlier, I'm going to have to go up one more level. So either I go ahead and move everything over. Alright, so if we do constructor here. Yeah, I'm going to need another row. I don't think I'm going to need it to go that far, but... Wonder if I actually did them the right way. I think I did. It looks like I did. Okay. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, this is going to be... Whoa, come on. I don't know why it won't let me select a recipe. Oh, it's because I'm already on it. This one was copper plating. Why? Where's copper plating? Oh, copper sheeting, sorry. And let me put that in there. This was copper wire. Put that in there. This was copper wire. And we'll put that in there. Alright, this one's still going strong. And then these two... So now the question is should I maybe switch... I am. To make this cleaner, I'm going to make this one go into a storage unit. So I'm going to need to change this to copper sheeting. And then this one will be copper wire. And we'll put all of our copper sheeting in there. Actually, I'm going to need one. That one's full. That one's full. Okay. So that's good. Now we need 2 constructors. Like that. This is going to be cable, cable. Okay. Now, let me get rid of some of all of this. Because the plastic I want to come into... The plastic, remember, was being used for the assembler. And the assembler was being used to produce circuit boards. So we'll make this the front of the facility. It's going to have at least some extra space, but we'll make this the front of the facility. Because what we'll do is we'll bring plastic in to a side port that'll then run up into the assembler, or we can do it along the front of the building, either one. But these then will need to come together into a merger. So... And I think they need to go into a storage unit, because I don't think I'm collecting cable anywhere. That's copper sheeting. No, we're not collecting cable anywhere. Alright, then maybe we make ourselves one more row. After all. And we put in a storage unit. Let's put you there. That. Okay. And that means that you're now going to be producing 60 per minute. And what we'll do is we'll make this one go like this. Like that. Now what we can do is we can take the cable and run that either to the first floor, second floor, whatever, from this particular storage unit. We've got copper sheeting, we've got copper wire. Those can then run as well into the facility either above or next door. It's still a little excess, I've got to be honest, as far, I mean, there's a lot of free space in here. But I think that's fine, to be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's fine. So if we then did a wall, I think that's the height that we would need to be at. Okay. And then again, I think similar to what we did with the iron production facilities, I'll leave the back open. Alright, now let me... So we stopped running power. We have no power at the moment. Well, other than the smelters. And then... Okay, this is where we need to fix the power situation. Okay, let's put in... I'm going to put in a Mark II here. And a Mark I here. And, okay, that power is fine. What I want to do is I want to put a Mark I right here. Run cable from there to there, and then there to there. Like that. And right now, this particular power pole is getting power. Whoa. From that. And that's what I want to change. So I want to run power from you to you. And then for these two over here, just like that. So now we only have one internal power pole. That is a lot cleaner. That is definitely a lot cleaner. The miner is getting power directly... Oh, no, okay, I'm going to have to change this. Yeah, okay, I'm going to have to change this. What I want to do then is... like that. Okay, hold on a minute. I just screwed something up. Okay. Alright, you're going to need to be a Mark II. I didn't want to do that, but... I don't know. What is going on? It's like it won't let me connect these two. Oh, I see what I did. I somehow connected the two smelters together. And I didn't mean, certainly I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Now, if we wanted to keep computer production going, we absolutely could go ahead and start figuring out the best way to reconnect all of this to go up, but this is the whole point. I want to clean this up. So, in order to do that, I'm going to have to start tearing all of this down, because the next layer of flooring can't go here. It needs to go there. In order to stay up above the storage units. So, what I want to do now is set up the assembler for circuit boards, because we were producing circuit boards for the high-speed connectors from this facility. And I want to move the high-speed connector manufacturer over to here as well, because it's going to make things a whole lot easier. The high-speed connector... Oops. Can't spell. Is quick wire, cable, and circuit boards. So if we're making circuit boards in here, which we'll do, we'll bring the plastic in, we'll bring the cable up to create circuit... Well, circuit boards are copper plating and plastic, copper sheeting and plastic. So we'll bring the copper sheeting up from there, or yeah, right there. We'll bring it up for the assembler to produce circuit boards. We'll then put the manufacturer... Is this lined up right? Doesn't feel like it is. Well, here, let's do this way then. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yep, we're good. Okay, so plastic, copper sheeting for an assembler to produce the circuit board. The circuit board, combined with cabling from this storage unit, combined with quick wire from over there, will produce the high-speed connectors. So really, that actually means that we can move the storage unit for quick wire into here and have this go directly into this facility. I don't know if that's going to make things look better or not, but... So, let's put down an assembler. And let's just assume for now that that's it. This is going to be circuit board. By the way, you will notice that I'm not creating a wall all the way back on the second floor. And the reasoning behind that is I want to make sure that I have room for ladders, because I have no idea when elevators are coming. Alright, so we need plastic, combined with the copper sheeting. Alright, so let's put a... maybe... I gotta be careful because I don't want to block that. Because the cables need to come up too. So we put one port there and one there. I think that'll allow for the two. I was afraid of that. Alright, so if we go like this... There we go. Okay, so then we put output here. All right, let's turn this. Whoa. Yeah, and I don't think that's going to be the right thing to do for the cables. I actually think I know what I'm going to do for the cables. Alright, now we just need to figure out how to get plastic in here from over at that store. Right now from that storage unit. I don't know that that storage unit's going to stay there. But let's just assume for now that it is. Because it's a good collection point for this, the plastic that's coming into the drone port. That's weird. I wonder why we don't have more quick wire. I mean, there's the guy that's coming to drop it off. I'm starting to wonder if we're using the quick wire faster than we can produce it. We're not doing that with plastic. Yeah, we may have to go in double production on the quick wire facility. Or facility's a wrong term, but okay, so I need to bring plastic in. That's right. I gotta focus on plastic. Focus on plastic, Brian. The question, though, is where do I want to put my wall? Because right now, well, let's assume for a second that the wall is going to go here. And here. And that that's going to be the edge of this facility. Then what we would need to do is put and actually that's not even right. We would want to put a conveyor wall right there. Have that come down. I mean, what is this? Mark 1? much plastic does it need? 30 per minute. Yeah, so mark 1. Like that. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that'll get circuit boards produced. Now we need to take the circuit boards. I'm still not happy with that, to be honest. I think what I'm going to need to do is actually put it here. Alright, can we go straight up? Nope, I didn't think so. Nope, that's not going to work. Crap. Too steep. Okay, hold on. Can I just do that? Okay. That'll work. The reason I'm doing this is because I need to move this closer so that I have room to take the circuit boards out of this into the manufacturer. Okay, other way. Okay. Okay. Good. Now I have room so that we can put the manufacturer, I would guess like this perhaps. And this is going to be high-speed connectors, so quick wire, cable, and circuit boards. So the circuit boards we get directly from here. Cables will come up from below. I'll just have to make... Let's assume for a second that I can put this wherever the hell I want. It's probably not going to be the case. But let's say we put it here. We'll have to see if I can get cables into that. And then I need to get quick wire. Actually, I'm going to need to make quick wire the outside one. Yeah, so this will be cables, and then quick wire will run into another wall port here. I'm not 100% sure that I know how. Walls. I think I may know how to do that. Okay, there we go. There's quick wire. Okay. Now I just got to fix cables down below and hope to God that that works. Yeah, just making sure that the quick wire is making it. Alright, I'm going to get rid of this because I need to start... Yeah, I need to start getting rid of some of this stuff. Oh. Because here's one of the things that I want to do is I want to take and create a storage unit right here. I think that'll work. And put all of the quick wire in here and then run quick wire from here into let's clean this up. Oh, wrong way. There we go. By the way, I know I have no power to any of this yet. But, again, I got to start somewhere. Yeah, matter of fact, let's go ahead and put up 2 walls. And we'll put a Mark 1 here. Okay. Alright, so this is creating circuit boards. Circuit boards are then going into here. Okay, excellent. Alright, let's go ahead down below and let's figure out how to do the cabling situation. Alright, so there's the port. It won't reverse it. Did I accidentally... Okay, hold on. I think I may have put this on there accidentally. I did. There we go. Okay. There was my problem. Really wish I could make that look better. But I can't. Not easily, anyway. Okay. That's everything. So we have now redone this particular facility. Alright, now then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's get rid of this one and this one. And we will put in windows. Let's do something different this time. Let's do frame windows. And then we need a door. So we'll get rid of you and we'll put a door here. Ooh, hold on. Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll need a... maybe stairs? There we go. Well, that's not perfect, but... Alright. Good stuff. Good stuff. But this is just the beginning. This is the easy part. Now we'll need to eventually run high-speed connectors over to there to produce the computers and supercomputers. But for now, this is a good starting point. What we now need to do is focus on this particular side of the facility. And this one will also be using the same setup for the crafting of basic copper parts, as well as the crafting of circuit boards. The difference is that we're now going to use all of this for the eventual production of supercomputers. And I think that there's actually an opportunity here. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and do something, because we now don't need this one manufacturer for producing high-speed connectors anymore. What was this producing? Oh, this was the alternate... Oh, no, this was AI limiters. Well, shoot. I didn't remember that. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, that's a problem to solve. That is absolutely a problem to solve in the next episode. All right, let me go ahead and... Where did the quick wire go? There it is. I have a bunch of computers here, too. Were we storing them anywhere? I know I was originally, but I don't know that I am anymore. Here, let's do this, because I want to go back and see where we are. Okay, there's excess computers. We also have excess brick wire. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to have to set up a port from here over for copper wire usage. But, alright, and then... Oops. Okay. This isn't going well. Can't grab my ladder. Yeah, I don't need you anymore. See, this is the other reason why we need to redo all of this. We've got stuff coming up through the floors, and that just... No. 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 Not gonna happen. Yeah, so this is the manufacturer for supercomputers and high-speed connectors, AI limiters, computers, and then more plastic. Big surprise there. Alright, I'm going to go put this plastic that I have in here. And let's go make a quick trip back to the hub, see if we can clear this last milestone, and that's where we will wrap up this episode. I am feeling better about things at the moment. In between episodes, I will go and grab aluminum casings so that we can get fused modular frames producing while also getting radio control. Matter of fact, in between episodes, I'm going to grab crystal oscillators. I'm also going to grab aluminum casings so that we can get a steady supply of radio control units being produced. Not necessarily to continue production of turbo motors, but just so that we can get radio control units to eventually be... Oh, well, that's not good. What am I missing? What did I run out of? Cooling systems. Yep. Okay, I happen to know where they are. I also have a bunch of stuff that I can go throw into the awesome sink. Alright, so, again, in between episodes, I'm going to have to do some running around, and that's fine. Alright, let me get rid of you. I'll get rid of you. I'll get rid of you. I'll get rid of you. 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 Oh, no. I need to keep you. I can get rid of you. And you. Okay. Alright, so I've got 14 turbo motors, which means I need 36 more at 4 times. That means I need 144 cooling systems to finish off the turbo motors. Which one of these is which? Oh, that was radio control units. Alright, let me put them in there. Oh, and I can put the computers in here too. Oh god, radio control units require computers. That's even another thing that has to get transported. Okay, well, it's something that I've got to worry about in between episodes. I'll do all the necessary running around to get things running smoothly, so that we can at least get this one milestone completed, and then we'll move on. Um, but at least we're now at the beginning of improving our copper facilities, so that we can just make things look cleaner and actually be more efficient. I know that the first piece of the copper facility is efficient, so I don't have to worry about that. It's now bringing in the second piece, and also not just being efficient, but targeting what they're doing, so that at the end of the day, we know one facility is focused on a combination of circuit boards into high-speed connectors. The other one is going to be focused on circuit boards into computers combined with AI limiters and the high-speed connectors to supercomputers. So it's targeting things in the right way to make sure that the belts just don't look ugly at the end of the day. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. As always, if you are enjoying the content, please make sure to hit that like, subscribe, or comment button, and hopefully I will see you in the next episode. Talk to you soon.